There's a 15-second delay. I can see the chat. Normally there'd be someone called Scott here who would be looking at this. Scott's in another meeting. So I can't see the questions until they come up. I'll take some little breaks to see if there's some things going. It's always great if we keep those simple. I'll try and read them in chunks. Otherwise they kind of confuse you as you go along, really, I suppose. A little bit of heckles. Oh, Angela's on. Hello, Angela. So, you know, she can't go for Angela today. Still on a centralist time zone, though. That's very good of you. So what are we doing today? We're going to talk about the 10 steps to a better product demo. And I can appreciate that a lot of people on the phone today, or on the webinar, have actually done product demos before. So a lot of people, this is going to be pretty natural to. And a lot of the time, I'm going to tell you some stuff that you probably already know. My job is to try and put it all together, condense it, and give you a few things to talk about. But basically, product demos, I think if you've done them, you've done a bad one, and you've done a good one. Yeah, so they are quite an interesting thing, and for a lot of us, they are actually really important. When we're doing a demonstration, we're actually demonstrating capability, and you don't always need to do a product demo to do this, or a software demo or whatever. But a lot of us actually have to do product demonstrations. So we're in a sense got 10 little points on this regular format I use. We'll just go through it. Before I start, I have to tell you a little bit. This is my advert. You'll see this come up in a bit. About Guido Scientific. Guido Scientific is a consultancy business. I think there are 8 of us in the business at the moment. And we do a lot with companies, mainly based around scientific instrumentation to help them launch, strengthen, or accelerate. Sometimes we help them with sales programs. Sometimes we help them with improvement programs inside factories or inside marketing. And we help with some people just really give them an injection of energy to accelerate them. Sometimes they're looking to get sold or just really get it punching through to some real growth. So now I've done my advert, we can go into this. And this is the basics. This is the basics of everything in the world. Demos, like everything, are about thinking and having a plan. That's it. Pretty straightforward. You can all finish early. Well, give us a bit. But basically, everything I think you can have a plan for. You can think about it. You can run through it. And it is critical that you actually go to a demonstration without blagging it. And as we kind of get older into sales and doing demonstrations, we sort of become, flying by the seat of our pants. And that's not always good. And even, to this day, I sit there and go, right, what am I saying in this meeting? I've got half an hour before, at least, or I've set it up beforehand. I still use the same format to set up meetings that I always have done. But if I don't do this and I try and slack, bad things start to happen, and I notice this. So have a plan and do some thinking about what the people are inside this meeting. So let's start off with that. So there's a big thing that kind of happens, which are we need to understand the objectives. And the first thing is, what type of demo are you actually going to do? Now, on the left-hand side is basically, a buyer process, right? A buyer journey, as we would call it. This is a basic one I've been using for years. People can modify them. You can go up and down through stages, but there's need recognition. Then I start to look for information. Then I evaluate what I'm looking at. Then I actually buy it. And then I think if it was a good idea. Need recognition, I'm thirsty. Information search, I could have a cup of tea. Evaluation, I know tea's good. We've got a kettle. I like the brand of tea. Purchase, I make the cup of tea. Post-process evaluation, I burnt my tongue on the tea. In the same way, we should get a bigger house. Let's look at bigger houses. Let's go round some houses. Let's buy a house. Was the house a good idea? So most of these can flow together. But when you're going to do demos, you can do demos at multiple points through this process. The first thing is what we call a marketing demo. And marketing demos are really done to push people into need recognition. We go around to drum up business. We're doing a demonstration for, hey, well, you're not kind of ready, but would you be interested in seeing it? That's a marketing demo. You're going to do marketing demos differently. You're going to do other demos. You're not going to, you're going to have much more of what we call the play element in a marketing demo than you are going to do in another type of demo. And then we have a sales demo, a classical demonstration. This is an evaluation, right? I'm going to buy something. I need to do this to push me through the process. And it even says here, we're there to prove the product does what it says and make sure we're a partner fit. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to show you that we can work together. I'm a nice person. The company's a nice company. The product does what we said it was going to do. And we're installing calmness. Our job is to make people calm enough to do a transaction. The last type of demonstration is an experimental demo. People say this, we could go and see them, and if it works, we can get them to do this, and we can. Experimental demos are quite dangerous in these kind of facts because a lot of the time we overcommit resources to them. Sometimes you have to do them, but it's a voyage of discovery. There's less importance on what we have to say. It's like, well, let's see if it'll work. We've never seen it work before. We used to use this entirely different type of machine, or now we want to try your machine. That's an experimental demo. So which one are you doing? That's really important. And that's going to vary a few of the items as we go through. Then we've got to think about what each person wants. And I want to introduce you to, it's a very standard kind of concept, which is there are different types of people. There's different types of salesperson. If you ask a brand new kind of sales rep, I do this all the time with people. I said, look, what do you want to happen? I want the order. And that's the caveman salesperson. They're just, I want the order. Give me the order, right? Now, if you were asking them what do they want in a demo, they become technical. Then, I want to show you how it works. That's what I want to do. Look, I want to come and see you and show you how it works. That's really what I want to do. But actually, what are they actually doing? They have a deepness in them which understands there is a need to create trust, to prove what's going on. They understand what they want out of it. Like, I've got to get you using it. I want to get you to do this. I want you to feel like you could have this inside your facility. I want you to understand how it would be like to have this every day. That's buried pretty deep underneath I want order, right? The buyer is going to be exactly the same. They've got different levels as well. They've got the, I want to sit and play with it. And that's their caveman bit. That's the bit they're kind of getting to. That's on the surface of their mind. But they will tell you, I really want to see that mode working. But they are then returning to caveman. I want to sit and play with it, right? And then deep down, what they'll never tell you, deep in their emotion level is, and they haven't even thought about it, it's subconscious. I want to make sure I don't get the wrong thing. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to feel like, I want to make sure I've got this. I've got to make sure I'm comfortable with my purchase. I don't want to have been led down the road by someone or a spec sheet or a thing I didn't need. So we have to think about both sides of what's going on here. I know what I want in a demo. What do they want? Now discuss. What would you like to see? And you're trying to take the information they give you at that technical level, and you're trying to see it from their point of view. The whole part of selling and the whole part of this demonstration of process through here is about understanding it from their point of view and not your point of view. You know what you want. You want an order, right? We've got to see it from their position, and they're going to tell us some of the bits, and we're going to have to try and work out the rest. So we have to understand what people want in a demo. And then we've got to get control. And really importantly, we have to understand that we actually have control. And what happens is if two people meet and you just turn up for a demo, you'll get things like this. The samples will be ready in 2 minutes. Let's go. Dave's done a course on this. He's an expert. He'll tell you how it works. We've got 48 people coming. Every one of the 48 people want to go. Can we try something you've never done before just to see if we can break it? Now, you were going to leave it here for 4 weeks, right? And what happens if we press this button after this button? So you're just going to get chaos. If there's no agenda and there's no control, you get chaos. Now, understand this. We all know that we get on the plane in a sequence for an EasyJet flight or a Sprint flight or something. We understand how they work. We understand how it works. We understand we form a line in Starbucks. That's how it's worked. We understand that there's a process that goes on. So we're completely fine to say, look, the way we demo is this. And they'll just go, okay. 99 times out of 100, they're going to go, yeah, that's fine. Yep, sounds reasonable to me. If you say, look, the first thing we do is we start juggling and everyone puts on clown outfits, and that's, they're just going, well, why are we doing that? So as long as you're reasonable in what you're saying, how you do a demo is, then they'll be okay. And it's reasonableness for your industry. If you went to an end user in a lab in a university, for example, and you start to say, well, I'm going to give you an hour corporate presentation on what we do before we get into this, they're going to go, what? I'm bored. If you do that in a corporate organization that's going to be buying hundreds of these things, they're not bored. This is a requirement. So it's down to where you are. So you've got to tell them what you think makes a good demo, how you normally do it, and they will agree. Because in most instances, do you know what? We do what we're told because we don't want to think. And that's why we agree to things. We're going to do it this way. Okay, sounds reasonable. If you go, I'm going to charge you money, or it's just anything weird about it, it's going to make them jump. But if you've got it set up, that's fine. So you understand you've got control. Can we try it on this? No. Can I have 18 people in a demo? No, you can have 4. We find 4 works. If I have 5, 3 listens. If I have 6, 2 listen. So we only do 4. Can we do 15 sessions? I haven't got time for that. And there is a bit, you do have control. You also are the guest. They came downstairs to meet you. That was their commitment in this. They came and collected you from reception and gave you some time. You got up at 5 o'clock in the morning and got in your car or took an airplane, right? There is a whole bunch of stuff around this. You have some ability to exert some form of control, and within controlness, and they want it. Deep down, they want to be guided through the process. People want to buy things in a formatted, understand, calm way where they don't have to overthink. Now, this is an interesting one. I gave this presentation to Oriana. I'm not very good at English. I have some learning difficulties with these things. And Oriana actually said, "Well, I think you've got this wrong." But this is Shakespeare. This is how he says it. And I can't really go against Shakespeare. It's pretty popular here. A big export for us. Don't really get it. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. And we're just players. And we're in it. We're playing a game. This is a play that we're going to execute. And that's what's going on in a demo. There is 2 things that are really happening in a demo. There's multiple stages. We'll get into those. But there are 2 things going on. There is a play or the play, and then there's playing, right? The play is the bit that we have complete control of. The beginning of the demonstration, we have complete control. I can tell you who I am. I can tell you about the company. I can show you a CAN demonstration. I've got control. The cards are in my favor. This is the setup. Everything from now on is working. The play is the bit that I'm going to do. And again, you can have, show you on a little graphic on the right, you can have a play which is, half the meeting. You can have a play which is a little bit of the meeting, or you can do really big play. That's completely fine. If I do an OEM meeting for people, the play is the majority of the meeting. If I do an end user meeting, the play is only a little bit of the meeting. But playing is a completely different risky game. Now, the playing bit is their sample, their data, whatever it is you're looking at, a real experiment. You're trying new things, stuff you haven't proved before. Everything is really, really high risk. But you have to do the playing because they have to get the comfort, because they don't want to buy the advert. But the advert helps, right? This is the preamble, the setup. The play is the important bit. You got to judge for yourself how much is important in your sale, but there is going to be a play element where you're doing absolutely everything under your control. And then there is a playing element with their stuff where stuff can go wonky, or it might change, or you don't do anything, but you've got these 2 very distinct areas. So think about, I always think about buying a leather jacket. Get this really nice leather jacket. And what's the play in a leather jacket? Well, I go in the shop and you could say, trying on my evaluation there, I'm trying on, look at it. This jacket, it's a black leather jacket. I look like a biker. It reminds me of my friend Mike's jacket we had at school, where he Tipp-Ex'd on a picture of Robert Smith of The Cure. It's a beautiful jacket. It's by the designer Ralph Armani, worked that one out. And it is wonderful. Keanu Reeves wears this jacket. That's the play. Playing is me putting on, working if it works for me, and thinking if I look like an idiot or not. Maybe it's too big. Maybe I'm too big. But that's what you've got. You've got the setup and then the use case. So try and think about a demo, the majority of the demo being a play or playing. When it gets wrong is probably when you do too much playing and your product comes into doubt based on that. So next up, these are my stages of a demo. This is the way I have always done a demo. Sometimes I have to sit there and write it down, and when I explain to other people, because like everything, as you get more experienced, it becomes an automatic thing you do. So what we've got, first of all, is we've got the expectations. This is even before the demo. We have a conversation, we get agreement, and we have a confirmation email. We are now binded by a contract, which is that confirmation email. There should be no surprises if I'm not there until 10 o'clock. There should be no surprises. I'm going at 12. That's all in and done. When I arrive, I'm going to go to a reception of a building, and I'm going to be collected by the person. And my aim is to have no conversations about work or the product or anything until we reach the meeting. Absolutely, because shooting the breeze. My job during this is to talk about how difficult it was to get here, the parking. God, this is a big building. How many people do you have working here? These lifts are rather magnificent, aren't they? whatever it is you need to say, elevators for those in America. All of those things are absolutely normal. The minute you start talking about product or what is going to happen, and you're going to get confused. Why would you want to talk to someone in a lift about something? You need calm to create calm. The only thing you're going to do at the end of arrival is you're going to sit there and go, look, I need 50 minutes to set up. So back to your office. I'm doing this on my own. I don't want you buzzing around me, asking me questions when I'm trying to remember how to stick this thing together. That's critical. You've got to buy yourself some time. It might be 10 minutes. It might be an hour. It might be a morning. I don't care. It's your complicated equipment. It's up to you. But your setup is about making sure it works, testing it works. And the very important thing, before you go, I'm ready now when you are, before you knock back on that person's door, is you leave that equipment with the most beautiful output that that equipment can do on your screen. If that's a data, if that's a graph, if that's an image, whatever it is from your setup, it's on the screen. And your journey is to get back to that point. Then you do your play. Who are we? This is the product. How will this work? What are we going to do today? All the stuff. That's the play. Playing, try their sample or their data, get them using it, get them pressing buttons, answer all the questions, and then a summary and exit. What did you see? Did you like it? Have you got any questions? Get out of there. Now, understand, this is our agenda. They don't know our agenda. This is our agenda. It's not their agenda. We've told them we're going to come and set up and everything else, but we're not going to declare all the way through and make it very complicated. We don't say, well, the first thing we do is, Othello comes in from the left and delivers the first speech. We're not telling them the script. This is our demo. This is how we're chunking it up, what we believe a good experience will be. So let's go back to the beginning of this. Right at the start, we said meeting expectations creates calm. Whenever you have a plan or you have expectations, everyone knows what's going on and the brain calms down. And people only buy things when there's calm, and they love to be taken through a process. So if we meet expectations, we win. If we got the expectations wrong, there's something else. But most of the time, people want to see, they said that, they did that, and their brain wipes it off as done. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get people to get expectations so they're calm. As I said earlier, one of the things you're going to see is, as we get older, we go, see you at 10. That's where we get to. And that's really dangerous because we've got a kind of general agreement. Now, if you're stopping by to see someone, that's fine. But if you're doing a proper demo, you've got to, look, you're going to go in and you're going to go, look, we're going to arrive at 10 o'clock. It's going to take us 50 minutes to set up. Following this, it'd be great to go for a coffee and have a run through your project again, make sure we've got everything in. After this, we can start with a quick intro of me and the company, take about 30 minutes. Then we can try, move over to your samples. I'm going to bring things with me. You wanted to see this, this, and this, and I'm going home at 12:30, or we can go for lunch. I need to get that into an email. It's really important. We may have said it. I've said it to them, James. James. Have you written it down? Your brain operates with written instructions very, very differently to verbal instructions. The chances of you forgetting what I've said verbally than versus something you have read are very, very different. And I'll explain this to you. If you've ever been to a wedding, you've seen a best man speech, right? I've given 2 best men speech in my life. I'm very fortunate. 2 people selected me to be their best man. And people afterwards come up to you and they shake your hand and go, oh, that was brilliant. That was. And they've all had a drink and they were all in a happy mood because friends of theirs are getting married. Brilliant. And you go, right, tell me one of my jokes. Nothing. God, I've got nothing for you. I enjoyed it. It was great, but I got nothing. And that's what happens in so many things. What happened? I don't really know, right? You may even get this from this. You might not enjoy it. But generally, if we write it down, both parties remember it more and act on it more. Remember, expectations give us control. What we're trying to do is have control. If we have control, things run more in our way. We create more calm. And we know that what they want will probably be wrong. Expectations can be re-engineered. If they go, no, I can't do 10, it's 10:30. Okay, I'm leaving at 1. We can make that work. I also wanted to see that. I can make that work. They'll go looking for things you've missed. Expectations need to be written down in an email. Don't say, I told you that. And by the way, if you want to annoy a boss ever, you can go, well, we talked about this. And you go, yeah, but you remember to write it down. That's what we like, written down stuff. Now, executing the play. Now, the play has got all the obvious things. Well, James, I always start with questions and stuff like this. You should have done the questions earlier. Well, I do a run through. Absolutely. You're going to do a run through. You're going to go, we talked about it. This is what I'm coming to do. But you're turning up to give a play. This is all under control. So the first thing is in a play, you're going to talk about you. Hi, my name's James. I've been in the industry for about 25 years, mainly working with digital cameras. I've been around life sciences. I worked for a company. I was vice president for 8 years. I decided to set up a consultancy. That's fine. They like it. They've got to have some empathy with you. 30% of the decision will be about whether they trust you. The company, 30% of it's on the company. What do you do? Shall I trust you? You're going to be here in 5 years. What's going on? How do you do stuff? Tell me what your values are. They get it. Now, that can be a sentence. It can be a sentence. It can be really, really easy as the sentence, or it can be 2 slides. I don't care. It's on you. You're setting the scene for what your company is. If you don't talk about your company, then you're dead. If you don't talk about you, they'll forget your name. They won't have any empathy for you. Then you can talk about the purpose, why we're here today, what we're going to go through. And then we're going to talk about other stuff like, the agenda, how we're going to play out today. And we talk a little about the ground truth. The biggest thing about the play that I like is I get to do a demo on a sample or with data that I know works, proving that my thing works. And if anything else random in the world has happened, then that's on them. We had a big demo in the Institute of Cancer Research once for two big cameras, about $120,000, something like that. Big cameras, really good ones. The person, we showed them how it worked with our sample, and then they got their samples, and they said, "Oh, it's no good. When we did it, did this," and we had full control. We went, "No, it didn't. Something's wrong with your samples." Guy went off, came back, and went, "Oh yeah, they were the wrong samples." I have control with the CAN demo. I get ground truth of what is working and what isn't working if I do a canned demo to start with, to show, here we are, this is it working. And I know what it looks like when I do it. It's all good. So you're going to do your play. What should you do in the play here? My tips, start at the end. As I said, if you sell something that produces an output, put that output out there so it's beautiful. This is how we get to a lovely graph like this. This is how we get to a lovely image like this. This is how we get to a lovely spectra like this. Whatever it is, start at the end. Set up the demo expectations, the in-demo expectations. This is another, not the demo expectations. We've done that, but we're going to set up the in-demo expectations. Let's make that a little bit different in a minute. We stay calm but charming. Always be charming. But if you're calm and you're not flustered and you have control, you turn up to a demo, it doesn't work, you're late, you've been there, get calm. If you have a physical product, I can't emphasize this enough, touch it. Touch it, point to it, guide your way around it. This is this bit, this bit, this bit, this bit, this bit does this bit, 200 megahertz per gigawatt of power. This is this bit, that's because of that. Touch it. There is a reason like television shopping works, right? Of course they're not, there's some funny rings or accessories for garden hoses. I don't care. It works. People have a physical interaction with products. Try and use that a little bit. Recap, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. Remember, they're going to remember probably 10 things for the demo. It is your choice over what those 10 things are. Practice it. People that don't practice demos, people that think that they can just turn up and give it a go, right? No, you should have your play absolutely executed. You should nail it. It should be a car crash. It should get better. And then just understand it's an advert. Right, you're doing an advert, it's fine. This is a bit of an advert for me, be honest about it. This is what we're going to show you this before. It's just the easiest way to do it. Helps us get to your samples and go a little bit faster with your samples. Next up, what's going on and when are we getting coffee? Because a lot of us, we want to know what's going on. Again, calm. I want calm. Whenever I get on a plane, I want to know how long's left on the plane. How long's it got? How many hours have we got? Right? How many train stops have I got left? How many chapters are left in my book? I want to understand where I am in the process. If I turn on a film at night, I immediately go, how long's left on this film? Because I want to go to bed by 11. I want to know. I want control of how far we are along the little process. I like that. Helps me out. Now, what we can see here is that, I'm using just a very simple tick sheet. I can print this out. It can be formal or it can be informal. But I've got a list of stuff and we're ticking it off as we go. And I know how close to a coffee I am. So I know when I'm finishing. And if I've got this, again, I've got calm. Again, you have to practice using this and so on. You've got to do these sort of things. But I'm going to tick it off as I go through, and I'm going to understand, and I'm signposting my way through the demo. So I've got this and it's all easy. Now, I can't tell you how many people I've worked with, and I've had to say this when we've done demo training. Demo is not training. It's about knowing that what you will buy will work, right? Our job is not at this point to go, oh, if you'd like to do this. People would do demos by looking at the drop-down menus of what was available. Imagine trying to buy a copy of Word by going, what does edit function new do? What does data sort X, Y? You're not doing that. You're not going to get to everything in your product. You're going to get to the most important things in your product. You're not training someone, right? I want you to just imagine this. We call this trying on the jacket. We have to get them using it in the way that they would use it in their environment. We're having them try on this leather jacket, right? But imagine I'm trying to buy an airplane. If you try to buy an airplane, they go, right, James, let me show you the first operation command codes for shutting down engine 1. Now we have 47 dip switches on the left. I don't care. I'm buying an aeroplane. I'm excited. How do you go left and right and up and down? That's what I care about. There is time for training later on. We're experimenting. We're taking you through the bits you're going to use. I'm doing a play. I'm still doing it. Even when you're pressing the buttons, it is controlled. This is not do what you want land, figure out how you can break it land. This is you understanding what this will be like in the rest of your life. You're going to get training. It's going to take 2 days. I'm not doing that in a demo. So you're going to have to take this, and you're going to take this ability to kind of say, well, I'm not going to train you. I'm going to chop it down to such simple steps that you're going to press the buttons. You drive. We'd sit there and we do this in demonstrations all the time. Look, particularly in software demos. Look, I'm tired. I've done all this so far. You can sit in front of the computer and you can press the buttons now. So I'd like you just to press enter, move your cursor up to where you can see on the top left where it says go, and then we're going to start from there. You don't let them press, you don't let them go off wild and play what they want. That goes on and play, doesn't it? You can do a little bit, even in playing, you can have them do this with their sample. But if they get used to what it would be like where it's there, this is why we do evaluations. Calmness and understanding what our life will be like when we have this thing, right? And of course, we've got to just have that environment. So don't train them, have them use it. Make sure they understand what they're doing with it and why. Next up, 10, you're leaving now. And this is the biggest sort of thing that's missed in the world that we get through. We're so excited that it went okay that we want to leave before anything bad happens, right? We just want to get out. But again, we need calmness. You have the most engagement. They're thinking, they're drawing up stuff in their head, and it's now your time to sort that stuff in their head out. Right? They're going, oh, 100, right. So you can sit there and go, look, we said we're going to show you it doing it at 47 gigahertz per microsecond. You happy with that? That's what we showed you. Good. You also asked for that. Was that okay? Got any questions around that? We also showed you working like this. And you've got all the confirmations. Get them to confirm that you're happy. So you're saying you're happy. Okay, good. Thank you. Now, do you think, based on what you've seen, that you've got everything you want? If it was here tomorrow, would you be happy enough using it from what you've seen today? Again, you're installing this concept of bringing them into the future of when it's there. They've got to feel like even putting it on the bench where it's going to go, stuff like that, whatever it is, having it on there. If you're doing software, have it on their desktop so they feel like it's there. You can turn it off, do whatever you want. So the first thing is you've got this fantastic opportunity to close the meeting correctly. And get the confirmation that they were happy. The other thing is, again, I think you've got this thing. I came all the way on an airplane, in a car, in whatever. I came all this way. You came downstairs. I think this is like fair. And I say to people, look, after a demonstration like this, in order, obviously, you hopefully we've given you a great demo and you enjoyed it and you feel good about it. Now it's stuff for us, and what we really seek in terms of response from the demo is a meeting 1 week from now where we're basically, you're going to gather your thoughts, you're going to have thought stuff, you're going to have more questions. Let's just put that meeting now, right? You can even use this opportunity to go, look, are you happy to place an order? Are you seeing other people? What do you do? But the biggest thing is what happens with customers all the time is that they go to the next stage and they clam up, they stop, and we don't understand it. So we have to keep that conversation going. I went to go and see a customer this week. I went in an airplane. On the phone, they give me like 5 minutes. On a web meeting, they give me like 5 minutes. In person, they gave me nearly 2 hours. I got so much more information. I got information out of it. I have to get the next meeting in person, in web, whatever it is. I'm looking to obtain additional commitment as we move through. Right? Then you kind of go, right, okay, what else do I need to do for you? I'm going to get you a quote, and then you're going to what? I'm going to get you the company information, and then you're going to give it to purchasing. We've got this trading ability between us at this point. We're open. We can start trading stuff because you're a little bit in my debt. There's but again, it's sort of reasonable, isn't it? Like, I came all the way. We've done a great demo. Hopefully you got everything you want. Part of this is just, a pretty reasonable thing. We always ask for a meeting afterwards. And if you tell people it's a pretty reasonable thing, they will either go, no, it's not, or yeah, you're right. And it is a reasonable thing. And most of the time they just go, yeah, okay. So you can sort of assumptionally use that as a statement. Look, it seems normally we sort of ask for a meeting. It's pretty fair. We've done the demo. We've done this. We ask for a bit of an update 1 week later on. Is that okay? And they can go, no, actually I'm away next week. Or could we have 2 weeks? Most people, when you give them a question like that, they're either going to give you a yes or a negotiation move or an objection. You're fine. You don't mind. You just want an answer. Shutting down at the end of a demo is really quite dangerous. We get out. We think we've thrown the grenade. Let's hope if it goes off and goes bang. That's not what we do at the end of a demo. We try and exploit the situation. So there are 10 things for you to do. It's just at 3:30 on a Friday afternoon in the UK, 4:30 in Europe, 10:30 on the East Coast, and 7:30 for the people in the West Coast. You got it all. We did it in half an hour. So I'm going to leave you again with my advert for my book, Unashamedly. It's quite a nice book. I wrote it. I actually went to a client meeting today, and they pulled it out of the bag and said, I specifically wrote down these points from your book. That was really nice. Some other webinars we've got. We've got KPI, Don't Tell You Everything You Need, How to Select Focus for Improvement. This is a webinar by Dan. This is mainly for people running businesses, trying to work out, they've been asked to improve something. What are they going to improve? Is it the right thing to improve? So Dan's our expert in all those kind of operational things. Then we've got on the 24th of May, planning and conducting voice of customer interviews. So this is for product managers or managers of businesses trying to understand what customers want. If I'm a salesperson, I ask a customer a question, they're going to answer me differently if I'm actually researching or trying to find out what should be in a product or what's missing. That's a different thing. So that's really for product managers, marketing managers, and owners of the business. And then I'm back into a sales mode with outreach, prospecting, and whale hunting. What each of those things are, how you would approach each of these projects, and what you're trying to get out of these things as well. So a big fan of these things. I think most people understand prospecting. Outreach is sort of almost a marketing term. It is different from prospecting. And whale hunting is about winning big things, sizable revenue differences for your business. So how do I add a big number change? And that's on June the 14th. So I'm online. If anyone has any questions, I have a 15-second thing. I appreciate I've gone a bit quick. That is unfortunately me. When I'm performing in such a way. Normally Scott has a bit of slowing me down, but as I said, he's in a meeting today. So I'm going to stay on for a bit. If anyone's got any questions or, they want to ask or post to the group or anything else like that, you put them in now, and there's a 15-second delay. So I'm going to have a slurp of my cup of tea from my R2D2 mug. It's very nice, isn't it? Now, I found a really interesting thing about the internet, which is, if I was to say from my C3PO mug, everyone goes, no, that's not. And actually, lots of people use that. That's a little tactic. You can look at Facebook and see that. I'm going to deliberately put the wrong person in there. 15 seconds in. Any questions? Or do people want to say, that's it, thank you very much, goodbye? Or you don't have to say thank you very much. Don't swear, though. Come on. Be nice. Thank you very much. Eddie, that's good. They're all ending here. Got another question here. Why is it asking me to press click? Great presentation. How often or how reasonable is it that large, complicated demos the customer wants more in-depth follow-up information? How do you respond? How do you respond when they want more in-depth follow-up? There is a point with customers where they keep on wanting more and more and more and more. I've got a situation like this at the moment, and at some point you've got to go, look, we're completely happy to provide more information as long as we know we're moving in the right direction. And that means that I now need this from you, because I think it's trading. Every way throughout a deal is to trade. And there are some points where you become uneconomically viable. I'm not coming to see you again. I'm not doing that again. Unfortunately, this is the way we sell. Hopefully you've got enough now to understand what you've got. So the first thing is I would trade. Yes, I will come back, but I want a meeting with these people that are going to sign off so they know that something's happening. Because I'm trying to weed out, is this just neediness, or is this, low authority? A lot of the time they're asking for more and more things. You're asking for you've got low authority people. It's a very common sign. Because they're trying to sell upwards, and you kind of go, well, okay, get those people in the room and I'll do the selling, thank you, because apparently it's my job. So you've got that. But a lot of the time you need to stop and go, look, I don't quite understand this. Can you understand and can you help me understand what are the things that you need to see and why you need to see those in order for you to make a decision? Because maybe I can help in another way. Like you wanting to do it this way, well, maybe let's just do an entirely different way. And I think you have to have the guts to go, no, we don't do that at the moment. Again, look, I'm spending lots of time and effort. Again, work out how much a salesperson costs in a demo. If they're particularly with equipment where they're going, I want to see it for a week and everything, sometimes they've been pandered to already by people that haven't spent the money. But there is a bit of like, well, okay, this costs us a lot of money. Demonstrations take about, the normal demonstrations cost you about, an in-person demonstration says $2,000 at least. If you're going for a week with heavy instruments and you shipped it, these demos can cost 50 grand. Good. All right. That looks like the end of the questions I've got open. If anyone wants anything else, you can send me a direct message or join us for the next webinar. And also go back and look at the other ones. There's plenty of other ones that are there. In fact, I might put one on later on today. Brilliant. Look, it's a Friday afternoon. The sun is out. I've got a cup of tea. I'm going to switch that for a non-alcoholic beer in a minute. It's going to be lovely. Have good weekends, everyone. I hope you enjoy it. I'll sit here and give it 30 seconds just to close out. Enjoy your weekends. You work really hard. Well done. I'll catch you later on. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Angela. Cool. Excellent. I'm signing off for sure now. See you later. Bye now.